Okay. Drop by drop. 1 John 4, we love because he first loved us, drop by drop. In everything, we look for pleasant ways of serving God, writes 16th century believer Teresa of Avila. She poignantly reflects on the many ways we seek to stay in control through easier, more pleasant methods than total surrender to God. We tend to slowly, tentatively, and even reluctantly grow to trust him with all of ourselves. And so Teresa confesses, even as we measure out our lives to you, a bit at a time, we must be content to receive your gifts drop by drop, until we have surrendered our lives wholly to you. As human beings, trust doesn't come naturally to many of us. So if experiencing God's grace and love were dependent on our ability to trust and receive it, we'd be in trouble. But as we read in 1 John 4, God's love for us comes first. He loved us long before we could love him, so much that he was willing to sacrifice his son for us. This is love, John writes in wonder and gratitude. Gradually, gently, little by little, God heals our hearts to receive his love drop by drop. His grace helps us surrender our fears drop by drop. His grace helps us surrender our fears. Drop by drop, his grace reaches our hearts until we find ourselves experiencing showers of his abundant beauty and love. In what ways have you experienced God's grace drop by drop in your life? How has God's love helped you overcome fear in exchange for hope and trust? Faithfully, God, thank you for loving me first, even when my heart was too wounded and hurting to trust you. Thank you for the many ways you reach me wherever I am. To be perfectly honest, I do not relate to this at all. Not because God doesn't love you or me or whatever the case is. This is probably someone who had a really tough childhood or situation. And plenty of people in the world have had, bad childhoods. Maybe they were imprisoned or abused or whatever the case is. I didn't have any of that. I had a great childhood. Great parents, hardworking people. So I read something like this. It's kind of sad for me. So, wow, some people really must have, or maybe they're, like a lot of people today, they're so unhappy and they, blah, blah, this kind of thing. And I hope this works for someone like that. It's just not something I relate to. I'm not saying it's not true, but I got nothing there. Maybe I should. Who knows? Love you. God bless.